Happy Monday. My name is Allison Knight, and I am the health coach at Employee Health Center. Today, we are going to continue going through the Mindful Way workbook. If you can remember back to last week, we talked about another way of knowing, and specifically two different ways of looking at things, or two ways of knowing, which we called thinking about when we thought about our feet, and tuning in directly when we really breathed into our feet and thought about our feet. So we're going to take that a step further today, and we're going to talk about the hidden power of thinking and how our thoughts and emotions are connected. So I'm going to read a short little excerpt, and I want you to get comfortable, close your eyes, really try to take yourself to this scenario as much as possible. So it's called the walking down the street exercise. So settle into a comfortable position, and when you're ready, listen to my scenario. Really take yourself there. Take the time in this scene. You are walking along a familiar street. You see someone you know on the opposite side of the street. You smile and wave. The person makes no response, doesn't seem to notice you, walks past without any sign of recognizing your existence. Imagine that scene. Now, what thoughts and feelings went through your mind? Everybody probably has a different thought, but here's some examples. So you might have thought, he didn't even acknowledge me. What did I do to upset him? So that's the thought, but the feeling or emotion behind that thought was worry. Or, she doesn't like me, nobody really likes me. That's the thought, whereas the feeling or emotion linked to that would be depression. One other one might be, you must have seen me. Fine, if that's how you feel, do what you want. Again, that's the thought, but the feeling or the emotion behind that is anger. The point of the exercise this week is to show how our emotional reaction, the feeling that we have from a scene, a scenario, a situation, or experience, reflects the interpretation that we give that situation rather than the actual situation itself. We're portraying how we feel into it rather than seeing a situation is that thoughts are not facts. They are simply mental events. They're things that are happening in our head and our feeling emotional response to them instead of the actual situation. This today is pretty brief, but it also is showing us that our moods affect how we are going to interpret events. And the way that we interpret events might then perpetuate that mood. When we're talking about, depression or anxiety or just moods that are down, by getting into this funk and continuing to react with that emotional response, we're perpetuating that cycle. So that's what we're trying to break by incorporating mindfulness. Next week, we're going to go into another body scan. But for this week, I want you to try to take this scenario, and the next time that you maybe find yourself in the situation that the walking down the street exercise, that you take a minute and try to separate out, okay, here's the thought that I had, and here's the emotion that I was feeling. And then after giving that feeling a name, trying to look at the scenario again with fresh eyes and see it just how it was. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful and mindful Monday.